number one of the NFL now in the books, we can officially say the 2022 football season is underway. We previously only offered 30-day NFL packages and 30-day college football packages, but because you asked, we have now added a 30-day NFL and college football combo. If you regularly buy the same handicapper week by week, not only will you save money, but more importantly, you will receive the selections immediately once they are released, allowing you to lock in the best available line and beat the line moves. While a 30-day NFL or college football package sells for $149 each, we want to make a splash for the first week of this combo package. Through Sunday, September 18th, get the NFL and college football combo for only $199. Yes, that's 30 days of NFL and 30 days of college football for under $100 per sport. This special is available at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, allowing you to bet football right alongside your favorite handicapper for the next 30 days for only $6.63 per day.
WagerTalk Today, right here on WagerTalk TV. It is Wednesday, September 14th, 2022, and you are watching, let's call it the best daily betting show on the planet. I'm Teddy Covers, and I will be joined today by Steve Merril, fresh off a 5-0 NFL Sunday and Monday report, 7-0 across sports over the last 3 days. Steve's going to break down Kansas and Houston in college football, and the Seahawks and the 49ers in the NFL. We're going to bring in Kyle Anthony. He's going to talk some UFC for this weekend. Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. Tanner Bozer versus Rodrigo Nascimento. And, of course, to close out the show, we'll have Arthur DiCesare from the Westgate Superbook. Ask him about how the contest went through the first week and talk about where the action is coming in NFL, college football, and, of course, MLB. We should have Prez joining us shortly. He's having some audio issues, much like yesterday's show. I can do the open. It's all good. But before we bring in Prez, before we bring in Steve Merril, let's talk about what we learned last night in the wonderful world of betting. I want to talk about the Heisman odds right here and what bettors learn, because right now, basically, if you look at the Heisman markets, there's 3 live candidates. Everyone else is dead. All right. CJ Stroud is 5-2, the Ohio State quarterback. Caleb Williams is 3-1, the USC quarterback. Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback, is in the 5-1 range, 550, wherever you find him. And after that, it's a huge drop-off. You have Stetson Bennett at 16-1. I think Anthony Richardson at 20-1. Hendon Hooker in that range. KJ Jefferson, DJ Ugalele. So everybody at 40-1 or less basically is a quarterback. All right, except for Jordan Addison from USC. And then it goes on and on down the line. You know, the 50-1s. You can put your money on a 50-1 shot to win the Heisman if you want. But the dumbest award in sports, this is what the Heisman is. It's a popularity contest for the marquee player on one of the nation's best teams. Stroud, Williams, Young. Those are the only 3 guys that are alive, in this bettor's opinion. One more reason why I'm not a big fan of betting the Heisman Trophy. Any one of those guys is live to win it, but 2 losses from the team, nothing to do with how good the player plays, and they're likely to be out of it. So Heisman at 50-1 or lower, basically the markets are telling us there's not a lot of good bets to be made in this particular marketplace. So there's a little what did we learn last night. Do we have a Prez sighting, or am I going solo here with Steve?
Almost. I'm refreshing one time. I think I figured it out. Hey, there I am.
All right, refresh and see if you can get that audio going. And, of course, we'll bring in Steve Merril here in just a moment. I apologize. We are live. Therefore, there are sometimes some legitimate technical issues.
I'm sorry, guys. Dan, firstly, is it the right mic? Secondly, Joe Ranieri's calling. I got no idea why this is happening at all. The funny thing is, I only use this computer and this whole setup for this show. So I'm not doing anything different. Anyway, nice to see you, Theodore.
Sure. So are you going to do this show with funky audio? Are you going to co-host with me, or am I going to wave bye-bye to you and bring in Steve Merril? So we
Ask
figure you
Dan.
out.
Dan, what do you want? It's all good.
All right. Poor Dan
Okay.
behind the scenes is
Yeah, is
scrambling.
it bad? Is my audio bad?
Yes, your audio is bad.
Okay, get me off the screen,
All right.
Merril and Teddy. You
Goodbye,
handle this.
Prez.
I'm
Let's
going to
talk
figure this
to
out.
Steve Merril. Steve, welcome to the program today, and congrats on a red-hot start to the NFL. I know you went 5-0 NFL Sunday and Monday, a perfect 7-0 across sports over the last 3 days. You're running good. It doesn't surprise me that you're running good. The guys that do their homework over the summer, the guys that have been doing this for a while, sometimes they win NFL Week 1. Kudos on your hot start, Steve. How you doing today?
Thank you, Teddy. I wore the red shirt to match Prez in case I had to fill in, and I logged in a little late just to make things more hectic for our producer, Dan. But yeah, red hot start to the NFL, 4-0 Sunday, Seahawks outright Monday. But as you and I have talked about over the years, Teddy, be very, very careful with week 1 results, right? It's basically week 4, the preseason. It used to be week 5. Now it's even worse because now there's only 3 preseason weeks. So you can make an argument that they're even less prepared. And Dave Koken, sent us all a message yesterday that the 11 teams in which their starting quarterback did not take a single preseason snap went 3-8 in week 1. So I think that tells you something. Packers, as you mentioned, last week looked awful in week 1 last year, did very well after that. Just today, I heard a poll. They took a poll. Which team is least likely to make the playoffs out of the Rams, Bengals, and Packers? And 55% of the respondents said the Packers. So all of a sudden, nobody out there likes Green Bay anymore.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, if you're going to downgrade teams off of week 1, the Packers, there was concern on both sides of the football for Green Bay. And the fact that it happened last year and they turned out fine, to me, that has no predictive value for this year. So Green Bay's not the same team as they were a year ago. And defensively, I was a little bit surprised, maybe a little bit shocked at how easily Minnesota was able to pick them apart. It is worth noting, I asked Ralph Michaels at CalSportsLV on Twitter about NFL Game 2 of the season. Team off a win, 1-0, versus team off a loss, 0-1. Just that simple. The teams that are off a win, 40, 57-1 against the spread since 2010. That's 41%. So if you're looking for a little angle to pay attention to, the 0-1s versus the 1-0s, the 0-1s are the bet on teams. Let's stay in the NFL. Well, no, we got the college up first. Let's talk college first, Stephen. Then we'll switch back over to NFL action. Let's talk about Kansas and Houston. And look, the Jayhawks are one of these teams right now. You can smell it. You can feel it. They are hot in the betting markets. The wise guys like Kansas, rallying last week in a wild OT thriller, winning by 13 in overtime. So this only happened 3 times in the last 15 years. Do you think the Jayhawks can keep their positive momentum rolling this week as they travel to face a Houston Cougars team that's pretty tough in the trenches, coming off an overtime win and an overtime loss in their last 2 ball games?
Well, that's exactly why I had this game circled initially after last week, because Houston has now played 5 overtimes in their first 2 games. We talked about them last week on the show a little bit. They had the triple OT win, as you said, against the UTSA Roadrunners, beep, beep. And by the way, the Roadrunners went to overtime again at Army. And Adam Trigger and I both mentioned Army plus 2.5 as a live dog. What a tough beat there, huh? Losing by 3 in OT. They were winning that game outright at one point. But Houston's now played triple overtime and double overtime and now playing without rest again. Now, the problem is, as you mentioned, Kansas is coming off a 2-touchdown underdog win in overtime. So normally you'd say, well, this is a little bit of a flat spot for the Jayhawks, but Kansas is a team that's very tough to fade right now. And there's a reason that the Sharps are all over them, Teddy, because the momentum has changed in Lawrence, Kansas. I mean, look at this team. Last year, they went 2-10. They were 0-9 during the COVID season. This team was 2-19 coming into this season off back-to-back wins. So obviously some momentum, but more so, let's look at last season. New head coach Lance Leopold comes in last year after the COVID year. Is a terrible situation. He had nothing to work with. They actually won their first game against a decent South Dakota team from the FCS level. They got blown out pretty much after that, but the season really turned last year for Kansas. I think the program turned when they beat Texas, third to last game of the season, 57-56. And if you recall, they were a 31-point road underdog in that game. And then they followed very up. The next game at TCU is a 21-point dog. They lose by 3. And then they lose by just 6 as a 2-touchdown dog against West Virginia to finish the season. And as you mentioned, they just beat West Virginia in OT as a 2-touchdown dog this past week. This team has now won 5 straight against the spread since that finished last season. They're heading in a complete opposite direction. And as you know, Teddy, these are the type of teams when they're 4-touchdown dogs for several years and all of a sudden they get good, the betting markets take a while to catch up. Now, on the surface, getting just 10 might be a discounted price here with Houston, but after 5 overtimes the last 2 games, I'm not sure they're going to bring their A game here, and I'll take another shot with Kansas here as a live dog.
So here's my question for you, because I watched the Cougars each of the first 2 weeks, and there's one thing that has really impressed me about that team. Their defensive front is strong. Their front 7 is blowing up the line of scrimmage. They did it all game last week against Texas Tech. Texas Tech was extremely fortunate to come away with the W in that game. Houston was the better team for extended stretches of that contest. So can Kansas hang with Houston's muscle in the trenches? That team, we know Ed Oliver in Buffalo is on Houston alum. It looks to me like they've got plenty of NFL talent on that defensive line. Can Kansas handle it?
Yeah, here's the thing about Kansas. This is something I didn't mention. We talk about big dogs, live dogs. It's not always defensive dogs. I like teams that can put some points up. And what's really changed for Kansas is the fact they can score now. This is a team, when they put up the 57 against Texas, they followed it up with back-to-back 28-point games to finish last season. They've now put up 50-plus in each game this year. Obviously, last week, a little misleading. By the way, they scored in overtime, and they ran back a pick 6 to win by 13. So most people looking at that 55-42 final probably don't realize it was overtime. And that's, once again, unlike the NFL, as you know, Teddy, you can have a 10, 12-point underdog at overtime and not be safe. It didn't affect last week. By the way, the line was 14, so had it gone the other way, it would have come very close to the point spread, which would have been remarkable. But I like the fact that Kansas can score. They're averaging 55.5 points a game this year, so I think they can move the ball, and I think that enables them to keep it close, even against what is a superior, at least line of scrimmage and probably, physical team in Houston, who, once again, 5 overtimes the last 2 weeks, probably isn't at their top this week.
I know every rule, and I just realized there's a rule I don't know. All right. In the NFL, if you kick a field goal on the first possession of overtime, and then when the other team gets possession, they intercept that, you get an interception. Does the game end as soon as you intercept, or can you run it back and win by 9?
I might have misspoken there, Teddy. Yeah, I might have misspoken because of the new rule in the NFL overtime. And man, I'm glad you didn't tell me that this past Sunday when I had the Texans going to overtime plus 5.5, and they didn't score a touchdown. And I had we had one of the Hilton pool, Westgate pools that we're in. We had the Steelers. Kelly had them plus 6.5 for our contest entry. I mean, it's just, you know what? I think you're right. I think a team could win by 9. I guess they could win by 9 now, right?
In theory, they could. And speaking of the NFL, let's shift our focus to the NFL and talk about the Seahawks and the 49ers. Seattle survives and advances past San Francisco the other night. Not a pretty second half offensively for the Seahawks. Defensively did just enough to stay in the game, keep the lead, and hold on. Of course, no points scored after halftime. Geno Smith is 9-0 against the spread. His last 9 tries at an NFL starting quarterback. Clearly, the markets don't like the guy. San Fran right now, 9.5, 9s on the board. Total anywhere from 41.5 to 42.5. So there is some variance on this line as we speak, Steve. Can the 49ers bounce back, or is Trey Lance? Mike Martz was just on talking about how Trey Lance stinks, and no one believes in Trey Lance right now, and the team doesn't believe in Trey Lance right now. Do you believe in Trey Lance right now, and do you think San Fran merits this -9, -9.5 point spread?
I'll be honest, I mean, I have concerns with every game, right? There's no 100% slam dunk handicap. We talked about it the other week. I think, you and I can make a case for or against probably every team. And you do it great with your follow-up questions. I mean, you're playing devil's advocate, and that's what you and I can do well. That is my concern in this game, okay? And I mean, I like the Seahawks Monday night because I think Geno Smith is more than a serviceable veteran. West Virginia alum, by the way, so we got a little West Virginia connection in this game as well. But Russell Wilson returning home. And it wasn't that I'm anti-Wilson. He played really well, actually. It's just that he hadn't been with that offense, new schemes, new team. Geno Smith is a known commodity. And Trey Lance, he could come out there and have a great game. He could also have a little bit of a belly flop like last week in Chicago. But you talked about how 0-1 teams do well against 1-0 teams. What I'd like to do is you take a general theory like that, and then you dig into each game, right? You try to find a subset. It's the same thing, by the way, I do with the Fade the Public information. Two most anti-consensus plays last week were the Jets and the Seahawks. I didn't want anything to do with the Jets, especially since Harbaugh has a tendency to blow out bad teams in week one. So I stayed off that game. But I liked Seattle. I thought I could make a case for Geno Smith back at home against Russell Wilson. It was a very anti-consensus play. So I liked Seattle for that reason. This is one of those games I think you can dig into and make a case for the 0-1 team to bounce back. First of all, they had a 10-0 lead in Chicago, very close to pulling that game away in the third quarter and couldn't get it done. Bears outscore them the rest of the way. Chicago did nothing offensively. San Francisco really shut them down statistically. If you look at the offense last week, Chicago averaged just 3.8 yards per play. You told me the Bears were only going to have 3.8 yards per play offensively. I would not have thought they won the game outright, especially with San Francisco gaining over 5 yards per play. Seattle, the exact opposite. Yes, I had them Monday night, but a little bit of a fortunate outright win. They did not play well defensively. Gave up 7 yards per play to the Broncos, averaged just 5.5, could not run the ball at all. I think Geno Smith does regress a little bit this week. And, you talk about there is a premium because people don't like Smith, and he's been very good against the spread. Last week, Seattle's +6. If that game had been in Denver, it's probably a 12-point line, right? They'd be a 12-point dog. San Francisco last week in Chicago is, about a 6.5-point favorite. That'd be about 12 had they been home against the Bears. Now the line is only 10. So you can make an argument this line would have been 12 a week ago. I think it's actually a little cheap now at -10. I think it's a good spot for the Niners to bounce back.
So here's my question for you, Steve, because when it comes to San Fran, they're a team that I give basically 0 for home field advantage. All right, this is not the crowds that they used to get in San Francisco, and we've seen the 49ers finish with a losing point spread record, losing or 500 point spread record at home basically every year since Shanahan's gotten there. My numbers show now as a home favorite, San Fran's in the 8-17 ATS range over the last 4 years. So does that concern you? This is not a stadium that Levi Stadium that has been difficult for opposing teams to hang tough in.
Yeah, but one thing I will say about Seattle is I think you have to give the home team a little bit more points when Seattle's playing because Seattle is such a strong home field. And that's actually one of the reasons I like the Seahawks on Monday night because I thought I know Russell Wilson's used to the environment, but you knew they're going to bring it to him. But, with the new offensive scheme, new players, new coach there, I think Seattle still has one of the strongest home fields in football. So you can make an argument that they're weaker on the road point spread wise because that's not adjusted properly. But look, we see that with the Rams. We saw that with the Cowboys' new stadium a decade ago. They were terrible at home. Chargers aren't going to get much support in SoFi either. So, yeah, I think you're right. San Francisco, maybe not a true 3 points, but I think in this case, off the loss, back at home after a bad game, and with Seattle regressing off Monday night, it probably is worth a little bit more than it might be worth in other games this year.
The Chargers were using silent counts at home last week against the Raiders because there were no Chargers fans on opening day. It was all Raiders fans at SoFi.
That was predictable.
The vast majority. So the fact that in their home stadium they're using silent counts tells you all you need to know. 3 point. I don't know. Anyone's given 3 points for NFL home fields now. They're given 2, in my opinion.
Right, that's correct.
You might be given 2 too many for a team like San Francisco.
Yeah, and Teddy, that's a good point real quick because that was even pre-COVID. You can actually go to like the Sager games where they give the home field. If you've looked since like 2015, it's gone from 3 to 2.5 to 2 to 1.5. It was already dropping even before the COVID season, and that's a good point to bring up.
Yeah. In terms of home field edge, every year it seems like it gets less and less. And San Francisco, for me at least, a team that I don't like to lay points with the 49ers at home. They have not done well in that role. Steve Merril, talk to me about what you have going right now over at WagerTalk.com. And I got to say, it's fun for me to be sitting in this seat and you in that seat because normally when you and I are on together, it's reversed. So it's fun for me to be hosting and you as the analyst for this one, at least so far. Let's see how you screwed up with the promo.
Yeah, I was going to say with the I get to sit for you occasionally, like once a year when you get your one vacation, which the doctors determine that you have to take at least one vacation a year, and they make you take it around the All-Star break. I know it kills you, but then I realize you're right. It's always Prez on the other side. So this is kind of the role reversal. I like it. Hey, look, as you mentioned, Teddy, I appreciate you mentioned the hot start. 5-0 sweep Sunday, Monday in the NFL. By the way, baseball, 2-0 sweep on the same time. So we're now 7-0 in baseball. The last 2 days, baseball won as well. So 7-0 all sports sweep the last 3 days. Pretty good time to get a direct subscription. Replug some of those winnings back into the investment account. And now is a great time to get on board for football because WagerTalk has a fantastic, no promo code needed special 30-day combo, college and pro football for just $199. $199 gets you 30 days of NFL and college. No promo code needed. It's on my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, and again, like if you're going to get involved with the capper, you can buy plays. People do it. I would never buy a play. I would always buy a package. And when you talk about a 30-day all access, every play that Steve or any other handicapper you choose releases, when they release the plays, you can get down at the numbers you're supposed to get down. It's very reasonably priced, $1.99 for the month. Steve, thank you so much. Good luck this evening. And of course,
thanks.
We're going to take pleasure's all mine, my friend. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, my big game breakdown. Supposedly, Prez is going to rejoin us because his man crush is on. Kyle Anthony coming up next, right here, when Wager Talk Today continues.
With week number 1 of the NFL now in the books, we can officially say the 2022 football season is underway. We previously only offered 30-day NFL packages and 30-day college football packages, but because you asked, we have now added a 30-day NFL and college football combo. If you regularly buy the same handicapper week by week, not only will you save money, but more importantly, you will receive the selections immediately once they are released, allowing you to lock in the best available line and beat the line moves. While a 30-day NFL or college football package sells for $149 each, we want to make a splash for the first week of this combo package. Through Sunday, September 18th, get the NFL and college football combo for only $199. Yes, that's 30 days of NFL and 30 days of college football for under $100 per sport. This special is available at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, allowing you to bet football right alongside your favorite handicapper for the next 30 days for only $6.63 per day.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk some Friday night national TV college football. Louisville home dogs to Florida State, ESPN affair. Right now, look at the Wager Talk live odds screen. I'm seeing the Seminoles. Let's call it -2.5. Looks like it might go to 3. So if you like Florida State, I'd get involved today. Not waiting until Friday night. Total sitting at 57 in this one. I'm going to make a case for the under in this ball game, flat out. I mean, if you watch these two defenses, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, Louisville versus Syracuse. Louisville shut them down for the majority of the game. They only collapsed late in that contest. Ton of pressure at the line of scrimmage. Syracuse did not have open receivers downfield. Last week against UCF, once again, Louisville's defense, the best unit on the field. You look at the Florida State side. Who'd they face? LSU in the open. They shut down LSU's speed. The defense forced a pair of fumbles. They had 4 sacks. They had 6 tackles for loss. Good defenses on both sides. These two teams are combined 4-0 to the under so far this season. Florida State actually 6-0 to the under, dating back to last season. Malik Cunningham doesn't have a touchdown pass yet this year. Why not? Because his receiving core isn't getting open. Again, if you watch the UCF game, and I did, if you watch the Syracuse game, and I did, this is not a receiving core that's living up to expectations so far, to put it mildly. I don't think that gets better against Florida State's athletic defense. And Norvell has looked very comfortable relying on his defense. Not something that we saw in his previous stop, but we've seen it in Florida State already. Total here, 57. We could see some pace in this game. I get it. But when it comes to red zone execution, when it comes to offenses rolling up and down the field, I'm not convinced we get that. Take the under Friday night college football, Louisville and Florida State. There's your big game breakdown. And I think we've got the Prez to go back to.
We do. And I'm sorry about all of this, Teddy. I mean, I know you got to do the show alone and then with Steve Merril, and you were awesome. But yeah, I don't know
Just
what
like
the hell's
yesterday,
going on.
Prez.
Like,
Yeah. If you want to take whatever days off, you can take them off, buddy. No problem.
Yes, Kyle, we get it. Anyway, Teddy covers. I haven't been part of the show, so I don't know where we're going. Let's bring on Kyle Anthony now that he's done 6 checks, and hope he doesn't disappoint. So, Kyle, let's talk about your trip to Vegas, shall we? I think this is the first time we've been on the show since. Welcome to Wager Talk Today.
Hey, Prez, it's good to see you. I had a feeling you were going to be bringing this up. I had an inkling you would. But it's good to see you. It's good to see Teddy. It's good to see everybody again.
Yeah. So, guys, during the meet and greet, we knew Kyle was coming, so we booked the meet and greet at a hotel that happened to have the Miss and Mrs. America contest. I think it was the Miss America. Literally, we threw Kyle Anthony into the middle of the Miss America contest. So, Teddy, we didn't see Kyle for more than about, 5 minutes?
I was at a different meet and greet for a little bit. I was at a different meet and greet. It was nice. I got to meet a couple of them. It was good. We'll leave it at that.
And a few husbands. Teddy is not amused. So let's go, man. Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. Did I say any of that correctly?
You did. I'm proud of you. Sandhagen, you did. You got it. You nailed it. All right. Okay. So this fight here, let's dive into it. Let's save the show at this point. This fight here, you have Song Yadong. First of all, he's 24 years old, which is pretty crazy for the extensive time that he's been in the cage already. Over 20 fights. Guy is definitely elevating, and his cap is extremely high for where he'll be. But if you look at it real, he's a power puncher. He likes to move forward, has an aggressive style, and will really pour that on as much as he can when he's out there and when he's looking to get the combinations going. And somebody like Corey Sandhagen, good footwork, utilize the cage very well, and switches from southpaw to orthodox smoothly. But the big issue here for Song Yadong really is going to be the footwork and movement of Corey Sandhagen. And we've seen the way that Song fights. He likes that aggressive style. He likes to really dig into his shots. He's a heavy boxer. He has good kickboxing, good body kicks. He does have that. But his big path is going to be moving forward, landing the big shot, doesn't really throw too much with the jab. And I think that's part of an issue for him, really setting up the big shots instead of firing them at 100% power constantly. We've seen him struggle with guys that are very similar to Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen, again, free-flowing kind of guy in the cage. We've got somebody like Kyler Phillips, which was 3 fights ago, and a loss for Song Yadong. It was the same kind of thing. It was free-flowing. It was movement. It was working on the outside, throwing in a couple takedowns. That really threw off a lot of what Song Yadong likes to do overall. Again, he lost the fight, but it's a very similar path for him. And adding in on that movement that he does have, that Corey Sandhagen does have, he's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage as well, too. So he's going to have that 3-inch reach advantage on top of all of this, as well as Song Yadong's about 5'6". You've got Corey Sandhagen, who's going to be 5'11", and one of the measurables that people don't really talk about is the leg length. And, we do have the reach advantage, going to be 3 inches, but the leg length is going to be massive as well, too. That's going to also allow him that space to really kind of work at range, utilize all of his tools, smoothly switch from southpaw to orthodox, as well as the most impressive thing, I think, with Corey Sandhagen was his last 2 fights, 5 rounds against Peter Yan and TJ Dillashaw, which are very high-level guys, elite-level guys within the division. And Song Yadong needs a dance partner to be in his face, looking to fire the big shot. So I think this fight definitely goes to Corey Sandhagen. I like what he can do, but also the fact that I think this has legs and gets to a decision. It lengthens out. Song Yadong has 7 losses. 1 time he's been finished, and out of that that was in 2016 was the last time Song Yadong was finished. So I like this playing the range game for Corey Sandhagen, and a decision is plus 400. I think that's a juicy number to jump on with his most likely path. I think he's going to take a lot of shots. Kyler Phillips landed a bomb to him. He just kept moving forward. I think that he's not going to be able to finish him over 5 rounds. Corey Sandhagen outlands him. I like the plus 400 in that spot via decision for Corey Sandhagen.
So the total in that fight is 4.5 rounds with the over minus 160. And you're taking a $2 favorite, making him to a $4 dog on decision. Are you sure about that line, Kyle?
I like the plus 400. I like what you're talking, but I like the I like where I'm at.
Is that widely available, that plus 400?
I don't
because
even
to
see
me that seems like a mispriced number. When you talk about
4.5? 4.5?
You have a $2 favorite in a fight that's lined over 4.5, minus 160, minus 170 the over, and you can turn the $2 favorite into a $4 underdog by taking him by decision. That doesn't even make sense to me. That's an unbelievable bet if you can get it.
Hold on. Guys, breathe. So Cody Sandhagen is minus 200 to win the fight. By decision, he is plus 120. Song is plus 170 to win the fight. By decision, he is plus 450. Kyle is still cool as shit and incredible at handicapping. Where do we go from here?
I saw it on a book. I can even send it to you.
But Kyle, it happens to the best of us, bro. Art DiCesare's on the screen right now, and he's thinking. Kyle,
no, I got it. I don't want to tell you what book it was, but I got it.
Okay, no problem.
Good number.
Either way, would you take Cody at plus 120 on the decision?
Corey at plus 120?
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't think he finishes this guy. And like I said, that's why the juicy numbers seem really good at plus 400. I was like, what the? But yeah, I got it at that price.
Yeah. Teddy, all you, bro.
So let's talk about one of the undercard fights at the UFC Apex right here in Las Vegas on Saturday night. Tanner Boser and Rodrigo Nascimento. All the money's coming for the dog. Boser was minus $2. Now looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing minus 170s, minus 175s. And this fight totaled at 1.5 as opposed to 4.5 with the other fights. The other fight we were talking about. How do you see this going down on Saturday night?
Well, this one here is when you're talking about this size of fighters, a lot of times, sometimes this actual size where if a guy has a physical advantage or anything like that. Tanner Boser's a small guy for the division. And a lot of times this is going to work big time in his favor because of the footwork and the hand speed that he's going to have. And the fact that the way that Nascimento, a lot slower of a guy, slower moving guy, plotting style, looking to move forward and really kind of just more grappling than he's looking to utilize the striking. And one of the options that Boser's going to have is chopping at those legs. And that's really going to slow down a lot of the drive behind some of these takedowns. And I think that he's going to really be able to utilize that throughout. But the biggest advantage for him is going to be the hand speed. There's absolutely a massive gap between the hand speed between Nascimento and Boser. Boser's going to really be able to really massively lock into those combinations, utilize the leg kicks. Nascimento most of the time uses these combinations for cutting distance, getting in close, looking to get his hands on you. That's going to be most of the time what he's going to be looking to do here. Now, the takedown defense rate for Boser is at 70% defense rate. I think it's going to be tested. There's times where he's been at the bottom and he has not looked good. He's not able to get up. Boser struggled with that getting up, but a 70% defense rate I think should be enough to kind of keep him on his feet. But if you look at strength of schedule right now, you've got Boser who fought Cyril Gane, Ovince St. Preux, Ilir Latifi, and Andrei Arlovsky. While on the other side, Nascimento's 2 most recent victories were over Dontel Mays, who I don't rate very high at all, and as well as Alan Badeau, who was on a 4-0 run, and Badeau was winning in the first round of their last fight there. While I just think the pressure here is going to be where Bozer's going to be able to land and have a sense of urgency. He lost 2 straight split decision losses. And then most recently, he went out and poured on the pace on Ovince St. Preux, got that second round knockout. So I think that the big issue here also for Nascimento is he has a 31% takedown. 31% defense rate on striking. So in this division, it doesn't take much to crack. These big boys can fire. So I do like Bozer via knockout. And Teddy, if you want to give me the odds right now before I say anything, I think it's plus 170. It's plus 170. I do like him here. I think he gets the knockout. I think he lands a lot of big shots, and I think he's just so hittable. And I think Bozer goes out there and gets that knockout. Plus 170. Somebody verify that, and that's the play.
Kyle Anthony, everyone. Kyle, we are up against it, bro. Thank you for coming on. You rock. We will see you every 2 weeks unless there is a massive fight to discuss. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Anthony. Teddy covers. By the way, Teddy, I love your blazer. You look good. Art DiCesare.
Before we let Kyle go, we ask him what he has to promote.
Teddy, we are up against the clock. Kyle Anthony, UFC, incredible, amazing. Art DiCesare, welcome to WagerTalk Today.
What's up, boys? Good morning.
What's up? Hey, what's up, Art? Super Contest Week 1. Let's get straight into it. Any highlights? How many 5-0s? How many 0-5s?
The 0-5s, I'm not sure, but the 5-0s, I think the number was 67.
Wow, how many people entered altogether?
It was in the 1,400 range, I believe.
Nice.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Art, I'm handing this segment over to Teddy. I've been a bit of a mess today with tech issues. Theodore, let's get some actionable info out of this man.
Well, first I want to ask Art, when you talk contest-wise, obviously the Westgate, one of the leaders here in Las Vegas, and really, the Super Contest, the granddaddy of them all. It's the Rose Bowl of sports betting contests. Were you guys happy with the entries this year? Were you comfortable with the numbers that you got? When you talk about the expansion of gambling nationwide, how's that impacting your contests here in the state of Nevada?
Well, yeah, Teddy, obviously a lot of places are going to have them now, and they're all over the city, whether it's college or pro, other type of things. But yeah, we were happy. And, we offer other things now too, not only just the regular contest, but we have the gold, and we do the reboot, and we do the NFL season wins contest, which we've talked about. So we try to offer different things at different price points. So yeah, we were definitely happy with the entries. And, our whole goal is to get people to come in on all sorts of levels, no matter what your price point is.
Sure. And of course, I had the opportunity to say hello to you briefly last Friday night when we were putting in the WagerTalk Today entry for the famed Super Contest. Prez and I went 3-2 last week. If we do that all season, we'll be in position to be in the money at the end. Art, let's talk about some of the betting action that's been going on so far this week. First of all, how was week 1 for the house in terms of the NFL and college football last Saturday? I was under the impression you guys did pretty well both Saturday and Sunday last week.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Saturday was a really good day. Sunday was good. It was a winning day. And then you got to add Monday in there. Monday was the cherry on top. Monday really was amazing. It really sweetened everything that happened for us over the weekend. And, without Monday, if Denver ends up winning the game outright, and then if they end up covering the game, not disastrous, but it would end up being a losing weekend for us. So Seattle coming through and winning outright was amazing for us. So good weekend overall, both Saturday and Sunday.
Art DiCesare, before Teddy jumps back in, the cherry on the top. Canadians call it poutine. So we're like, that's poutine. None of this. Nobody, I don't even like cherries. I hate that saying. But yeah, so you had some poutine on Monday night, huh? That's good.
Yeah.
Teddy?
Yeah.
Well, that was, the one of the things that books often need on Monday night, they need the parlay killer, they need the teaser killer, they need the money line killer.
Yeah.
And obviously you got all three, with Seattle winning outright over Denver, much to Prez's chagrin. Well, let's talk about this week's NFL betting action. What are we seeing in terms of early sharp money in the NFL for week 2?
So as far as the sharp market goes, let me just hit on the Thursday game real quick. It's not really that it's sharp money, but, Chargers at Chiefs, really good game. Obviously divisional game, and should be a fun, high-scoring, up and down type of game. We opened Chiefs -3. We went to 3 -120. People weren't afraid to lay the 120. We've now gone to 4. Obviously, Keenan Allen's out. The cornerback Jackson is questionable. Obviously, it's a short week, so there are some things that are concerned for the Chargers and how great the Chiefs looked in week 1. Them being at home, people are very happy to take the Chiefs. So Chiefs now sitting at 4. As far as sharp money goes, I think the big 2 that jumped out to me were teams that were getting 3 points, and now we've moved them to 2.5. Tampa at the Saints. We had Saints +3. It's now Saints +2.5. So some Saint money has come in. Saints always play well at home. Tampa has not really played well there, and that includes Brady being the quarterback. And then one of the Monday night games, because there are 2 Monday night games this week, and it's a really good matchup. You have Minnesota going to Philly. We had Philly -3. It's now Philly -2.5. So Minnesota money has come in. Minnesota bettors were happy to take the 3.5 or take the 3. So that's obviously sharp money. And then a total that has really moved. Jets Browns. It was 43.5. It's now 40. So really good under money has come in there, and that's been sharp money. Public's kind of jumped on it, but they've jumped on it late. And then one public play as far as over money has come in. Washington at Detroit, 46.5. It's now 48, so a 1.5 move there for some public over money in the NFL.
Yeah, not surprised that the public is not there. The Sharps aren't betting Joe Flacco over the total in Cleveland this week. You talked about one public play on the over for the Lions and the Commanders. What would you describe the line move for Vegas, Arizona? Are the markets crashing on the Cardinals here? Is that all sharp money coming in on Vegas in that ball game, or is this the public just loading up, remembering what they last saw with the Arizona Cardinals getting annihilated by Kansas City?
Yeah, Teddy, I can only speak for what we've seen. I think that really is I think it's both. Obviously, we're always going to take Raider money. We take a ton of Raider money at the Superbook. And it is the last thing they saw. Arizona looked horrible. I know they played the Chiefs, but they did not look good. And it's never a must win in week 2, but I think if people feel the Raiders are going to be a team that competes for a playoff spot, they're at home against a weaker team. They should, they need the win. They need to roll in the game. So I think that's a combination of all those type of things. Right now, we haven't seen anything real sharp or any real respected player that has come in and, pounded the table and taken a position on the Raiders. So for us right now, it's just been nothing but public money on the Raiders.
Let's shift our focus over to college football real quick. Art, anything stand out to you in terms of early week action on the card for Saturday or Friday? Who do the pros like? Who do the Joes like? Who does Art DiCesare like? Talk to me about college football.
Yeah, a couple things. Teddy, I know in your big game breakdown, you like the under in the Louisville game. Well, you're getting probably the best number right now because we opened 54.5. It's gone to 57. And that's been public money. Nothing real sharp has come in on that game. It's just been public money that's driven that total up 2.5 points. So, that's for Friday night. As far as Saturday goes, a total that's really moved. Kansas at Houston. It was 62. It's now 56.5. So that's been good under money that's come in there. A real public side this week has been Washington at home. We opened Washington, and they're playing Michigan State. -2, now 3.5. So you've seen a good move there. Sharp money that's come in. UCLA at home against South Alabama. We had them -13.5. We now have the Bruins minus 16. So 2.5-point move there. And then Tulane at Kansas State. This one's kind of bounced back and forth. We took Tulane money at 15. We got to 14. We took some money on Kansas State and both sharp money. We took Kansas State money 14, sharp money. So we've kind of bounced back and forth on the game. So we've seen sharp players on both sides. So that's been an interesting game to kind of keep your eye on. It's kind of settled back to the 14.5, kind of in the middle. But it'd be interesting to see if more guys come in on one side or the other. So that's been an interesting. And a game that I do like, a game that I think is interesting. I love that MAC football. Northern Illinois at home against Vandy. I like the Huskies. Minus 2.5, but there are a lot of threes out there now.
Art DiCesare, outstanding, dude. That was phenomenal. Art, last night I had a room full of women over. They were all watching The Bachelorette. I tweeted it out. Gabby or Rachel, are either of these ones going to find love? Have you received a big bet in any of the directions of these girls and Jesse Palmer?
No, but I did see your tweet, and I was like, wow, look at Prez. Prez is unreal. He's got the whole Bachelorette set up for the ladies. Good job for you, Prez. I respect it, man. But no, I don't know anything about the Bachelorette. I know there's betting on these type of things in offshore markets, but yeah, I'm not the guy to talk to about that. I think you're the guy to talk to.
There is no legalized, regulated betting on these things. It's not anything that we want to talk about on this show.
Art, I didn't even know the names of the girls in the Bachelorette.
Okay. Art, talk to me about the Westgate Superbook, what's going on, and what you'd like to promote, as well as your Twitter handle at ArtDice21 on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Teddy, I don't think I mentioned this last week, but it's definitely something I'll mention every Wednesday. You know, Thursdays, coming to the Superbook, we have the minus 105 Thursdays. You know, about midday, 1, 2 o'clock, we put out the lines for all college football, all NFL, and you're paying minus 105 instead of the minus 110 juice. And that's on Thursdays, and, you know, it's usually till the end of close, which could be 10, 11 o'clock, but, you know, we give you a 5-6 hour window to get those 105 bets in. And then the app right now, we got a really good promotion. You come in, you sign up for new app customers, bet 100, get 100. So it's a free $100 bet. So come in, and like always, if you ever have any questions, you come down, you ask for Arthur DiCesare. I'll be more than happy to help you.
Thanks for joining us, Art. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel. Teddy, we're over 100 likes. Let's go to a real quick version of the daily presidential address.
Over.
Guys, I only have one bet for you today. It is the Yankees and Boston over the total of 9. I have a 4-pack of baseball plays up at WagerTalk. Tomorrow's presidential address will be all about the football game. Teddy, I told you it would be quick. You took the over. You lose. I got the NFL presidential address to tape. Take us home, bro.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the Wednesday edition of Wager Talk Today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Of course, we want to thank Arthur DiCesare, Kyle Anthony, and Steve Merril. Today. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
With week number 1 of the NFL now in the books, we can officially say the 2022 football season is underway. We previously only offered 30-day NFL packages and 30-day college football packages, but because you asked, we have now added a 30-day NFL and college football combo. If you regularly buy the same handicapper week by week, not only will you save money, but more importantly, you will receive the selections immediately once they are released, allowing you to lock in the best available line and beat the line moves. While a 30-day NFL or college football package sells for $149 each, we want to make a splash for the first week of this combo package. Through Sunday, September 18th, get the NFL and college football combo for only $199. Yes, that's 30 days of NFL and 30 days of college football for under $100 per sport. This special is available at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, allowing you to bet football right alongside your favorite handicapper for the next 30 days for only $6.63 per day.